Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extirpation, undesirable beings, odors from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past? Watch them and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, those of you who choose the combat option when encountering Santa Claus in your living room on Christmas, and anyone who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have Nick.
Look, man, I'm just gonna say it. If you decide to attack Santa because he's technically invading your private property, he had it coming. He made that decision.
Yeah, is that so? You're one of the people who fall in that category where you see the red puffy stuff, you see the hat, and it's just nothing but hands, huh?
Well, it really, for me, it's gonna depend on what he brings. Does he bring me something that I want, or is he gonna bring me some bullshit? Right? If there's socks under there, he's gonna get a 9mm to the head.
Right. Or if you turn around and you see Santa, slowly taking his pants off,
Yeah, then he could live. I mean,
Yes,
no, wait. I mean, no, I'll kill him. I mean,
then it's going to be the best fucking Christmas you ever had.
Yeah, emphasis on the fucking part. Yes.
Yeah, and I believe it was our last Kickback episode. We established that Santa Claus, with all his years being alive, married to the same woman, has to be just a fucking freak in bed. So he knows how all that shit works.
Oh yeah, dude. He probably knows where our fourth holes are, because
absolutely,
you can't be with the same woman for like 300 years and not spice things up a little bit. So,
they have, little, different people coming in and out, they've tried a little bit of everything and
reindeer,
Yeah. When we say everything, I mean, people fail to realize how long he's been alive and how experienced this and bored this man must be. So, what a better way to, to make your third eye nut.
Oh, so good, dude. All praise Santa Claus,
Yeah. So
I gotta tell you guys a story.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I went to a farmer's market yesterday. Yeah, I want you all to take a step back and picture Nicholas at a farmer's market, but I was there, hungover. Okay. Didn't see anything that I really wanted until the very end, where I saw a booth. Right. This guy stopped me. He had a bunch of, me, you and I were seasoning / hot sauce / salsa barbecue sauce fiends, right?
Big fans, yes.
I see a bunch of that shit on the table and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. So the guy stops me because at this farmer's market, they're very pushy. Like, I feel like it was not a very enjoyable experience because I felt like I was at a bazaar in the Middle East somewhere. Anyway, so like, I was like hanging out. He stopped me fresh off the boat from Jamaica, right? Now, here's what's cool about that is my man was selling legit homemade. He had his own little business, homemade Caribbean jerk seasoning and sauces.
Yum.
Like straight from Jamaica recipes, dude. I'm like, I've never had like legit jerk before. So I bought 3 bottles of seasoning. It smelled and tasted delicious. I had a sample of it. It was fucking phenomenal. So I'm currently right now slow cooking chicken thighs that are just covered in spicy Caribbean jerk.
I see. That's a good way. We call this atmosphere building because now you listening right now, this is obviously our Christmas special. This episode is also special for a multitude of reasons. It's our 100th episode. This is around our 2nd year of podcasting at this point at this episode. So we need to create this perfect ambiance. You're at home. The lights are down. There's fire in the fireplace. Nick's Caribbean jerk chicken smells slow cooking.
Oh, all over the house.
Oh yeah.
It's like instead of sugar plums, bro, I got Caribbean jerk straight from the island, I'm pretty hyped.
The way the holidays were always intended to be like. And you're just popping on just a good weekly episode of Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind.
Yo, and I want to say this is some good progress for me and the Jamaican people because because okay, because now what I'm about to say is not a bit. Okay, everything up until this point, Nick's always look, that race is different from me, haha. Sure. But this next story I'm going to tell you is not a bit, and this is always what I'll remember Jamaica for. I visited once. I once went to Jamaica. I was very young. I was probably, I don't know, like 10 or 11, and it was a stop on a cruise, right? We went to a couple different ports in Jamaica. The first port we got off of, within 15 minutes, a man. First off, the gates from the port were guarded by two dudes with assault rifles, which was cool. I felt super safe.
That happened to me when I was in Cancun when I was like a kid. So yeah, it feels awesome, right?
It feels great. Safety's off. And then not 2 minutes after we passed by them, a man standing next to a bunch of trees off the side of the path offered my stepfather, he was like, "Do you want to buy this kid?"
Oh. Oh, human trafficking, huh?
So that's the only thing that I remember from Jamaica. That, and also the fact that because I was young and I didn't understand like cultural appropriation and not getting killed in Jamaica. So it was really their fault for selling it. But I asked my mom to buy me a hat that had like fake dreadlocks in it. And
I don't want to buy the kid, but I want the fucking wig instead, Mom. Now, was the kid good quality?
What the fuck kind of a question is that, you sick, sadistic son of a bitch? I don't know. I don't remember what he looked like. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what a good quality product would be in terms of that, and that's probably a good thing.
Well, it's probably disgusting is first off the first thing that comes to mind, but also like assuming you're buying a kid for like labor.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he could lift a lot of weight, so I would say that would be a bad investment.
Well, and that's also a good point of what selling a human child can mean a multitude of things. In my mind, I thought it was just like, for my innocent brains, like, oh yeah, they just don't want them, so they're just trying to sell them into a family, and it's like almost like a really like shady adoption service or something.
It could have been that. I was too young to know context. It very well could have been that. They're like, hey, maybe you can go with one of these white people and they'll have a better life. Like, I don't know if that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as we're talking about it, and as I made the joke, I was just like, oh, wait, maybe, like, there's probably a much more sinister reason why this child's being sold, not so he can, be home to smell the jerk chicken on the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, but in like a country where my ports are not guarded by people with AKs. Yeah.
So yeah, probably not for a good reason, and it's probably good that nobody bought the child, because I have a feeling it was, I hope the child is okay somewhere.
Me too, man. But anyway, that's my actual not bit story of Jamaica when I went there. So I'm making a lot of progress. I signed up for his newsletter as well. The guy that makes the seasoning and sauces.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's a cohesion happening between America and Jamaica because of me, and I am nothing but a diplomat.
It's 100 episodes, man. We're kind of a force to be reckoned with now. We can mend ailing treaties. We could bring countries together. We could bring people together now. We have power. And it's funny because it certainly doesn't feel that way, when I'm just like rolling out of bed, like, farting and tripping as I grab my mic and cobble it into the stand to get ready to record.
I slept in today. I woke up at 8:45, dude.
Wow. Yeah. How you feel?
A little groggy. I'm a little hungover. Here's a tip. Don't drink wild turkey rye, because the last 2 weekends, I've just been like, oh, it's on sale when it's wild turkey. Everybody loves wild turkey. It's 5.5% more alcohol than Jack. Now, the problem is that every time I've been drinking it these last couple weeks, I get mad heartburn. So no more. Rye. Yeah, something about wild turkey, bro. I'm going back to Jack next week.
Yeah. Oh, wild turkey's out in the wild, kind of like a big furry mythological creature that we've been waiting years to talk about, huh?
Literal years, man. We've been almost 2 years now. We've been saving, because like, of course, when you start like a cryptid alien conspiracy podcast, the first thing people expect you to do is Bigfoot. But see, I wanted to flip that bitch around and be like, no, we're waiting for a special occasion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of it too is making sure that we were, more confident in ourselves and our format to pull this off properly. And what better way to do it than the big 100 triple digits?
That's right, man. Today's the day.
And forever ago, so this is a little technical behind the curtain shit. This is where that payoff comes, when I was like, hey, when we number the episodes in our file types, name it 001 or 00 or 8 or 010 for like 10, because we're hitting triple digits. And I don't know, we were ready for it. We were confident in the get-go that we were going to make it here, and here we are. Look at us.
Least to episode 100. That was our goal, was at least make it to 100. So if we don't upload anything after this episode, we made it to our goal and we quit on all of you without saying anything.
Yep, exactly. Going off. And as I say, this is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. I was gonna say it's also kind of like our sex lives.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
It's nothing but whimpers.
Nothing but whimpers and limpness. That's just all I've got for you.
Is that our rap group, Limp Whimpers? Or
Limp Whimpers?
Yeah, Limp Whimpers is our that'll be our like Beastie Boys kind of like rap crew.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's do it, man. Let's just do it. And it's just gonna be us singing like sad boy emo rap, like about how we can't have sex properly.
The worst part is you could probably make something pretty good off that. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Well, you guys are here for it. You're here for the big boy himself. But before we do that, one last thing is we need to do a brief read of our horoscopes to make sure we're getting the feel of this episode. It's extremely important for this special episode to know how it's going to go. So, Nick, what is the star saying about your fate?
Let's see here. That's not good. There's aggressiveness in your emotions today. This feeling will command your attention and demand that you be stable and reasonable regarding all tasks you undertake. Be honest and understanding. No one will understand obscure metaphors unless they have some practical use. Water your plants and clean up your yard. The closer you can be to the earth today, the better.
Wow. So some hippie shit.
Some hippie shit. It's telling me I'm mad. I'm not very mad today. I'm a little hungover, but I've worked out.
Yeah, if you were mad, you probably aren't anymore. I mean, yeah, you look as calm as a cucumber.
Yeah, man. I'm always cool, calm, and collected, baby. You know me. I'm calculating.
Ready for anything.
I feel good. I feel like they're full of shit. It is telling me to be closer to the earth, though, which I could do. I haven't really been outside a lot because it's been really cold. It's been like 20 degrees.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, you can maybe go take a piss in a bush.
Yeah. Maybe I'll join my dog. We'll just go when he starts peeing. I'll just join him. So
I'm sure Kiwi would appreciate that a lot. I think
he'd be like, "Oh, interesting.
Yeah, cool." Actually, I think maybe he actually won't because I think you know how when dogs like take a leak, they like look at you like they're fucking like gonna get like sniped any second.
Yeah,
that's because dogs are super vulnerable when they go to the bathroom and they look to you for safety.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, man, if you're here with me, then who the fuck is watching our back?
He's pissed. He looks at you. You're pissed until you just shrug at him.
It's like, oh,
whatever happens, happens.
Just be quick, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, God.
So my stars looking pretty good. Sex is a 3 out of 5. Hustle, vibe, and success are all 4 out of 5. Definitely matching with my general feelings today. I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, it's a good way to kick things off.
How are you looking today, sir?
All right. Your emotions are going to have a special kick today, which you're apt to take very seriously. There's a strong instinct within you that's ready to defend your sensitive feelings. The trick today is to stay grounded and focus. Plan and organize, and you'll be able to get quite a bit done. Don't act rashly if someone crosses you. So I guess I'm a bit of a firecracker today.
Yeah, man, you're a fire crotch.
I don't have red hair, though.
I don't know that. You're bald. You could have red. You could have red pubes, and I wouldn't know. Oh, your beard isn't, but
I was gonna say just because I'm bald doesn't mean I don't have hair at all. What was it? That other episode? Oh yeah, we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer because how he drills people's holes in their head, and I was getting all uppity. He goes like, "Why didn't the police just see the hole?" And you're like, "Well, most people have hair." Yeah. It was this weird awakening moment that, as you can tell, still haunts me.
In toddlers, they call that egocentrism, where you can't really understand what other people like are feeling and thinking. So you just think everybody's bald. Is that what's going on in your head?
I guess so. I think I really need to get outside more. This is bad. I'm losing my ability to relate to people.
Oh, speaking of which, guys. Okay, now I know. Oh, really quick, do your stars. We just brought up toddlers, and I gotta say something. It's not what you guys think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just tell your stars, and then I'll get into it.
All right, let's see. Sex is a 4 out of 5. Hustle's a 4 out of 5. Vibes a 4 out of 5. Success is a 3 out of 5. I'm feeling about as good as that. So fuck yeah.
It's a good day for us, man.
It is a very good day for us, and happy to be here.
All right, look, we're at the 2-year mark of our podcast. I figure It's about time that I can tell you guys. I'm not giving any details because you guys are a bunch of fucking weirdos. No offense. All right.
Right.
I am in a yes. We're all kind of weird. In 2 years, you guys should know that by now. Look, I'm in a relationship. Okay.
Yes.
we are.
What if we just ended right there? Because we just know as soon as everyone heard that, they're like, okay, that was the only reason I was listening.
No, I'm in a relationship. I've been for a very long time.
Yes.
We are going to be having a child soon-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my announcement.
Yeah. And the funniest part is that that's not a joke. Like Nick's
that wasn't a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick is actually, believe it or not, is a pretty like normal adult. He does normal adult things.
So I just wanted to let you guys know on our special 2-year that I'm taking care. Well, I can't do much, but I am trying to help to take care of all the pre-pregnancy stuff that you're supposed to do. Check all the boxes. And we are going to be commencing initiation in like 3 weeks. So.
Yep. So good luck, buddy. I know it's what was our rapping name again? Flaccid Whimpers or something like that.
Limp Whisper. I think Flaccid Whimpers is better because Limp Whimpers just kind of reminds me of Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. So Flaccid Whimpers is that are a little bit more catchy. So you're gonna have to work real hard, get all those supplements you can, extends, natural male enhancement,
Viagra.
Just make a cocktail of it and hope it doesn't kill you long enough to conceive a child.
Yeah, dude. If only I could get it up long enough. We'll see.
It'll be a challenge. And now we're putting to the test all that Monster you drank to see if it really made you impotent.
Oh no! All the skinny jeans and Monster in high school. I forgot about that, and all the Slim Jims. That's a problem. I might be sterile.
It's the ultimate test, but we'll see. And of course, obviously, feel free to keep us updated as you decide to, Nick. Obviously, it's your private life. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. But just saying, $100 donation gets to name the child. So, you know.
Oh, dude, actually, not a bad idea. If you guys want to donate money, I will probably do something like that.
Oh, God. Oh, man. And that's not in writing. So if any of you do it when we don't pay out, I'm telling you right now that this is the disclaimer that might happen. So just
I will do it.
Aware.
I'm not a pussy as long as it's nothing like fucking Adolf or something, you know, like I might do it. Like I like older names, like pick like Archibald or something like that kind of shit.
Famous quotes from Nick as he on his downfall is I'm no pussy as long as it's not Adolf or something. Oh my God. All right. I think we should get into Bigfoot now, huh?
I think it's a good idea.
Oh my God. But yeah, congrats, man. Well, I guess pre-congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm either really impotent or it's really potent, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm at the edge of my seat and just edging in general.
Yeah, I got to work on that. All right. All right, everybody. So welcome back to a very special episode of CEO TPK. Now, as we've mentioned before, it is our 100th episode, and for this special occasion, the topic that we chose to cover is the Big Mac Daddy of cryptozoology, Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a cryptid. See, I already forgot the name because we've been doing like real criminals for so long.
Yeah, see, I can't troll you on that because it has been a while. So I'll give you that.
Absolutely.
Now, we've been waiting for the right time to bust this guy out, and episode 100 feels like the perfect time. Now, as you could probably tell from the title of the episode, this will be a series. And to be honest with you guys, we aren't sure how many parts this will turn into, but we're thinking 3. Okay, we're thinking this is going to be a 3-parter.
We learned our lesson from Dahmer to overshoot a little bit because Dahmer ended up being 2 episodes longer than we expected.
Exactly. This whole series thing's kind of new to us, so
yeah.
You know, we're trying to still estimate properly. Now, on the opening of the series today, we will be discussing some background on Bigfoot. Where did he come from? Different legends around the world that talk about Bigfoot-like creatures. What is Bigfoot? That whole shebang, right? So we're just going to be doing some background information today.
Right. And this is something you've been insanely passionate about, and I know I've been itching to do because you have a lot of opinions about this, I believe.
I do, and most of my opinions will be coming out probably what it will be the last episode of this series when we talk about the theories. I'm sure you guys out there know that I have some things to say about that.
Right. But we gotta know what we're talking about first, because I also feel like, and I only know this because of the years of all the stuff you've been saying into my ear while drinking, is Bigfoot is actually not exactly what everybody thinks he is. or her. I don't know.
And that's something interesting you just brought up. We will be talking about that. We will be talking about that as well today. The him, her thing. So, and you know what? I want to say this too about Bigfoot. He's big for me because I'm sure a lot of people out there, a lot of our listeners who were into this type of stuff, your introduction to the mysterious, to the cryptozoological, to the ethereal was probably learning about Bigfoot, because he's just like one of the biggest anomalies out there. So that's why it's special to a lot of us.
It's a huge entry point, and it's one of the most popular and the most famous. And I mean, you don't even have to. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't have to be a comic book fan to know who Batman is. You don't have to be a cryptozoological alien UFO hunting nerd to know who Bigfoot is.
I take that with offense, but you got the spirits there. You got it right.
Thank you. What is it? He's confused. He's a little confused, but he's got the right idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Now, so without further delay, grab your trucker hat that says "Gone Squatchin" on the front. Put a beer cozy on your desk and grab your hunting rifle, because we're diving right in.
Are there actually Gone Squatchin hats?
Oh, absolutely. I think I forgot what the dude's name. Some weird guy from one of those Bigfoot hunting shows popularized that phrase. Gone Squatchin.
Is it copyrighted? Like,
I don't know. I don't think so, because it's all over like Redbubble and Etsy and.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because I know how much both of us like beanies. So producer moment, planning the show as we record the show. Gone Squatchin beanies.
I would wear the shit out of that.
It would be fun. I think that'd be a great way to make public appearances if we ever do.
That'd be awesome. Do public appearances. Yeah, right. That sounds spooky.
Yeah, then we have to talk to more than 2 people in a week.
Yeah, and then they'll see how truly introverted we are. They'll be like, yeah, these guys don't sound like anything on the podcast, man.
Yeah. What, are they just auto-tune themselves into being funny? And then we could do our first performance of Flaccid Whimpers, where it's just us crying because of our inability to socialize with people who listen to us.
Yeah, we'll just cry behind like a lo-fi beat, and that'll be the whole evening. So
it'll be a cool show. I mean, I think it'd be artsy as fuck. You'll really get your money's worth.
All right. So first things first, guys. I thought that it would be good for us to discuss what Bigfoot is. Now, and this is more for those of you out there who have been in a coma for like 100 years, or for those who scored below a 70 on an IQ test. Okay.
We're both still scared to do it too, because, obvious reasons.
Well, here's the thing, man, is I feel like you and I would score fairly well on an IQ test, but when it comes to tests to determine ASD, we're fucked, buddy. You and me, we're on the spectrum for sure.
Mm-hmm. At least at some point, there's some sort of we'll have to get into that in our psychological episode.
Yeah. Okay.
We just on recording just take all these tests and just end it with well, damn it, dude. I guess you can apply for the handicap parking after all.
Yeah. Hey, is there any funds that I can get for school for being legally retarded?
Actually, probably.
So in this section, now what I don't mean is that we will be talking about what Bigfoot is in regards to its origin and where it's come from, as far as in the existential sense. That's for the final part.
Yeah.
What I mean is what we'll talk about is what it looks like to the naked eye, its attributes, its traits. That's what we're going to go over right now. A general description, if you will. So Bigfoot is essentially an ape-like humanoid. He is bipedal, and now most reports say that he is always standing on 2 feet and he runs on 2 feet. However, there have been reports of him running on all fours, like certain apes do sometimes, like baboons and gorillas.
Okay, so a little bit of a mix between monkey and man.
Monkey and man, yes.
Cool.
Now, as for Bigfoot's size, reports differ pretty wildly. Some say that he is not much larger than a man, my size, so about 6 foot tall, 200 pounds or so. But of course, there are other reports that say Bigfoot is much larger, ranging from 7 to fucking 10 feet tall. Okay.
Interesting. Now, the real question is proportionally to its height and stuff, how hilarious would it be if, in terms of the general proportion of body to foot ratio, he actually had relatively small feet for his species?
That would be unfortunate. That'd be like the biggest slap in the face from nature.
Oh man, that's the goal that we need. That's the type of answers I want from this investigation.
Well, here's the thing, Tasker, is we know that they have big feet because they're called Bigfoot, right? Now, here's the problem, though, is the real question is, okay, and let me get on to this next point, and then I'm going to ask you the real question. Now, as for the weight of the beast, in these cases, eyewitnesses estimate that Bigfoot can get up to 500 pounds, which is a quarter of a ton.
Shit.
That's big. He's a big boy, okay?
It's definitely American.
Definitely been eating some big portions at fucking Cracker Barrel. Now, here's the question that I need to ask you guys. Now that we know how generally big he is in most reports, how big is his dick?
That's I believe there's a lot of fan fiction that have some ideas about that, but again, how funny would it be if proportionally to his body it was relatively average?
That would fucking suck. What if it looked like a bait worm on a giant 500-pound man ape?
Oh yeah, I mean, I know what they always say, oh, what do they say about somebody with big feet, big dick? But like, there's no scientific correlation, no basis for that. It's just a joke to make your school buddies laugh. So, you know what? Maybe not as big as you think, or maybe like unreasonably big. Like that one guy who has, I think, the world's largest dick, but it's actually so big he can't procreate because it's too big. It doesn't work. But he won't get a reduction because he's too proud of it.
My man, dude, I would do the same thing.
Kill off your lineage
for pride.
I mean, hey, biggest dick on the planet. Pretty cool.
That's pretty damn cool. That'd be in my Insta bio, hands down.
Yeah. On your Tinder, biggest Mr. Big Dick, literally.
So how big is that dick, though?
He has to wrap it in towels and carry it with him. Like
what?
Yeah, it's stupid big. Like it's like a problem. Like it's a kind of like how with like Andre the Giant had gigantism for his whole body. He basically just has like gigantism like on his dick. I don't know. I don't think that's exactly what it is, but there's obviously some sort of like mutation or something like that. But yeah, he has to like wrap it in towels because there's no way he can keep it under his clothes.
That is mind-boggling.
It is. So maybe Bigfoot's got one of the schlongs like that, in which case we got to wonder how the female Bigfoots can take it, because if it's too big, it's too big, and you can't procreate. Your species dies out.
They probably have wide vaginas.
Yeah, maybe. Or let's like how with ducks, they have like corkscrew wieners and stuff like that, and how female ducks, they can actually like have a maze-like vagina because apparently duck forced sexual encounters are very common.
Ugh, good look, man, dude. Fucking nature is gross, isn't it?
Nature's fucked, man. And I mean, it's like the revelation that sharks are actually really fucking cool and that dolphins are like horrible.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of people getting humped by dolphins.
Oh, that not just people. They're dolphin violence is like rampant. Like they kill each other all the time. They like kill things for fun. They'll just like smack shit like fish up into the air and watch it like die and laugh about it. Like they're wild, man.
Dude, how come when you said that whole thing just now, it sounded like an allegory for black on black crime? You were just trying to cover it up. Are you racist?
How the fuck did that happen? We're talking about an undersea flipper having creature.
All right, man. Now, as you can imagine, most sightings who report seeing Bigfoot report him being like within this larger of life category. So usually he's on the bigger side when we get reports.
Got it. And this is body, not dick, right?
Right. Because I don't know if we know a lot about his dick yet, which is unfortunate.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, we've never caught one. So, and that's the ongoing mystery is we don't, these are just speculations from what we've gathered of the, well, I don't want to spoil too much about certain things. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
For sure. Now, the smaller ones that are seen are sometimes theorized to be younger Bigfoot offspring. And that is something that I should mention right here. There are, in fact, more than one Bigfoot. Okay. Bigfoot is not a singular being, even though the way that we say Bigfoot in most contexts makes it sound that way. So throughout this episode, I will be I will be jovially calling it big feet, Bigfoots, Bigfoot. I'm going to use them all interchangeably, but just know that there are definitely more than one of them out there in the world. Okay.
Oh yeah. Uh, large toesies. How about that?
Large toesy boys. All right.
Yeah,
And they,
large toesy boys. So some of the old Gen Z can get on board with this.
yeah, dude. And they are a race. That's something we have to remember. They are an entire species, elusive, but they are there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in true ape fashion, Bigfoot is covered in hair, right? Damn near head to toe.
Right.
Many color variations have been reported by witnesses. So we have colors like brown, red, reddish brown, black, gray, dark gray, all of it, and everything in between. I imagine that since they are their own species, just as we are, that they have different gene variations which lead to a variety of phenotypes for traits like hair color, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, like they say, I haven't heard about any major Bigfoot wars or anything like that, or, they just kind of keep to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And we will get into their temperament as well.
Right. See, racism does not exist in the cryptozoological world, but probably because there's not enough of them.
Exactly. See, once we know that they are real, I'm sure people are going to start fucking rounding them up.
Something like that.
Now, one strange thing is that I have never seen a report or have heard about is a Bigfoot that has white or blonde hair. And there are two exceptions to that. I'm talking about like North American standard Bigfoot sightings. I have never heard about one with white or blonde hair. And now we're not counting the Yeti, but that's a whole other thing that we'll get into later.
That was something I was going to ask about. Like, yeah, so the Yeti is, are we not going to do that in this series, or is it going to have its own thing?
We're going to briefly touch on him.
Okay, got it.
More commonly, you will see reports of brown or red hair, though. Those are by far the most common colors, brown being probably numero uno.
Got it. Sorry, the yellow hair, or what blonde Bigfoot? So Dragon Ball, like, the monkey with the,
You lost me at Dragon Ball, man. I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
To be fair, that was not the best execution of a point I've ever made on the show. So you know what? I'll take that.
All right. I'm sure plenty of other listeners know exactly what you're talking about and are all cheering in subtitles for you right now.
which is super appreciated.
So big feet, Bigfoots, right? Whatever. Either one. I don't know. Anyway, so they are weighing up to 500 pounds, which means, as you could imagine, that they're usually quite muscular. I have never heard of an overweight or obese Bigfoot before that needs like a rascal shooter to get around Walmart. Like they take care of themselves.
Yeah. And plus, I don't think they have the luxury of being complacent. Like they are, like you said, they're elusive. They're trying not to be found. They're probably running constantly. And it sounds like they're pretty fast.
They are very fast. And they have large rippling muscles, right? Especially they have like these wide boulder shoulders that are always reported, like huge shoulders, like cannonballs, dude.
Damn. And these are all like witness testimony kind of stuff for the people who have seen one.
Yeah. So the information that I'm bringing right now is basically like cross-referenced anecdotal stories. General, like there's always deviations, but this is like general things that you can expect to see if you ever run into a Bigfoot.
I see.
And again, in true ape fashion, big feet have long arms that are fairly disproportionate to their bodies, right? They're knuckle draggers, like gorillas.
Got it. Okay, it's like the Beast Titan.
The what?
Yeah, the Beast Titan from Attack on Titan.
Which
is about to have probably one of the worst endings ever animated very soon.
You can't make two anime references within 10 minutes, man. That's just unfair.
The first one flopped. I get like one more try. It's 3 strikes and you're out.
All right. Just because you made a baseball reference, I'll let it slide.
Cool.
Get it? Let it slide to home base. All right. Now, the titular feature of the Bigfoot. They have big feet, okay? The average length of footprints which have been found, measured, and recorded is 16 inches long, okay?
Okay, hold on. I got to do some math here. So,
okay.
How long is the average human height? And how long is the average human foot? God, why is it in centimeters? What do I look like? I'm like in the UK?
Do I look like I'm anywhere but the U.S. right now?
Now I have to fucking convert it. Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's all in centimeters. What the shit? Okay, it's not worth it. It's going to take too long. I was trying to make a ratio to compare if Bigfoot proportionally, if their feet is actually larger than average than the human average.
That's a good question. Like if their feet are abnormally large for their bodies. So like, yeah.
Because Bigfoot, you said they're about like 7 to 9 feet tall, right?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay. And their feet are 16 inches, which is about like a little less than 1.5 feet. So versus like us, like as humans, like the average human height is about like what, like 5'8", maybe 5'6".
Yeah, something like that.
And so we're about a little less than half of a Bigfoot height, and our feet are about 26 centimeters. And our feet are about 10 inches. So okay, so proportionally and with heavy estimation, proportionally, Bigfoot feet are quite large.
And that's weird. And you know what? Maybe it has to do with the fact that they don't have like shoes, right? Because and we'll get into their intelligence in a little bit here, but they haven't quite figured out clothes and shoes, right? They're still like at like a lower level of evolution, but maybe their bodies have adapted to having to run around in forests full of sticks and rocks and stuff by having like these large padded feet, you know, like hobbits.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you don't stay that elusive if you don't have a means of getting away. And I think they've, if we're entertaining the idea that they're real, they probably have evolved to a point where their feet are become sort of their strongest part of their body.
Yeah, but just wait till they make some more advancents, man. They have a cobbler. That guy has his work cut out for him.
Oh, man.
Making big ass shoes all day. Oh, my God.
I'll probably be the first Bigfoot type celebrity to exist.
She's like, dude, this guy makes fucking massive shoes.
Can you imagine, even in mankind's history, how fucking like rock stars the cobblers used to be?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I bet you like old school shoemaking is still like a beautiful craft that is dying out. But man, I bet you it's awesome to be able to make beautiful shoes from scratch.
Well, yeah, imagine it's like you get the fucking village cobbler and now nobody has to be barefoot ever again. Like, dude, that's how do you pay a guy like that as a peasant? You just, give him a little
I was gonna say
swab on the knob or something. Like, I don't know.
Pop your dentures out and go to town, dude.
You know the cobbler had his own harem. You know he got whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, buddy. Now, I did measure my own foot while drunkenly writing this part of the outline. Okay, my feet are just about 11 inches long.
Okay,
so I added another 5 inches onto the tape measure to reach 16. Oh, I wrote 15. I was drunk. To reach 16, and that would be a big ass foot, dude. Okay, that's a big foot, and that's just the average. Because remember, other reports have relayed Bigfoot footprints being as big as 24 inches, which is 2 feet, and 8 inches wide.
I wonder if there's somebody at home who's like actively like pausing and doing calculations and stuff like that, and they just got hit with a nice slap to the face of that 24-inch.
Yeah,
throwing off all your math. See, I was just, for anybody like who's fact checking me on my math, I'm literally, I should have done this before the episode. I'm just doing it in the moment, like with the pressure on. Like it's not going to be accurate. Like, come on.
And I didn't even attempt it. So
yeah. So Godspeed to you, mathematicians.
Now, another feature of Bigfoot that has been often reported by witnesses is its, how do I put this? Unique smell, okay?
Oh.
Apparently, big feet have a very strong, foul odor. And this bad smell can range from anything as relatively benign as a pungent musk. Musk? I wrote musk. I was drunk again.
I think must is a word. Let me see. Must.
Like not must, like I must do this, but I think I meant musk, but I wrote it must because I was.
I don't know why I thought must would be like, oh, it's like a dusty. I forgot it's a fucking common ass word that we all use. So fucking. God damn it, dude! I see. This is why I'm afraid to take the fucking IQ test.
It was just a lapse in judgment. Don't worry.
Yeah, I hope so.
We all have those. I meant musk is what I meant to write down. So it's like it could be like a pungent, like what's that? That's like oaky, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or it could go all the way up to something that literally smells like rotting meat.
Now that sounds counterintuitive for a creature that's trying to stay unseen.
True, but it also repels.
That's a good point, because you might think you're just near a dead fucking body and you're like, I'm going to get the hell out of here because they're going to think I did it.
Yeah, so unless you're like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer, most other people would run the other way instead of toward it. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that point where it's like there's a bad smell of like, oh, I want to investigate, but the Bigfoot gives off a bad smell of like, if I'm gonna fucking puke and I need to leave.
Exactly. So I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. Also, we have to take into account that they're primates.
Yeah,
with similar to us physiologically. Don't know what a shower is.
Right. Well, and they usually live in like forests, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of their common stomping grounds, if I may.
Yeah, so they're probably smelly. A lot of BO and a lot of but it could be a naturally occurring smell too that's used to repel. I don't know.
Interesting.
And their scent is supposed to be very strong. So most people who have smelled Bigfoot didn't do so by being right next to them. Otherwise, we'd have a lot more close encounter like Bigfoot reports.
Yeah, and that provides a big problem to Bigfoot hunters, because to get through that smell, like when you're getting close, it's like you're excited because you're about to see one, but also, god damn, like you got to have like a mask or something, right?
Exactly. So their smell is so bad and it's so strong that it radiates a good distance away from their body for people to have reported smelling this shit. You know what I mean?
I see. Which also, I'm assuming, now I don't know how much predators these things are, but it's almost like if you smell that smell, it's just like, oh boy, your days are numbered.
Your days are numbered, especially if you're a small forest animal, which we'll talk about shortly. So that was like a good section on a general description of our boy Bigfoot. Now, I think what we should do now is get into their non-physical traits, right? So their usual behaviors, their personality, and temperament.
Right.
So first off, big feet are generally seen as being nocturnal animals. This is particularly fascinating because there are only a handful of nocturnal primates on Earth. So like greater primates like us, gorillas, baboons, the big boys, orangutans, all those guys, they're all dineural. They're like there's some lesser primates like bush babies. They have weird names. I forgot a couple. There's a few. There's like 4 or 5 of them that are actually nocturnal, but they don't count because they're about as small as fucking hamsters.
I see. Yeah, they're teeny tiny.
Yeah, so they're irrelevant in my eyes. Okay, because I can flick them across the room. So that, with that being said. And that's why it's interesting to me to see such a giant primate who's usually seen at night.
I see. Because, yeah, most of us, what's it called? It's like not the circadians, because circadians are a bug. It's like a cyclic something cycle. Circadian, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Circadian rhythm, yeah. Because that's why waking up early is fucking better for you. I mean, you would know. You wake up at like sunrise.
Yeah, and I like it. It took a while to get used to it, but you get used to it, and then eventually you feel pretty good. So,
yeah. Versus on my end, I believe there was one time of my life where, because obviously daylight saving times fucking fucks me up all the time. Because now it's like gets dark at like 3 p.m. And if you know anything about me, sometimes I don't wake up until 3 p.m. And I remember there was a specific day where I woke up and it was already like sunset, like late sunset. I was like, oh, I guess I'm just not getting any sunlight today, huh?
Did you ever think to yourself, maybe it was time to make some changes when that happened, or nah?
Well, I'm better now. Now I even I'm starting to set alarms because I'm trying to actually wake up at a reasonable time to spend time with my family on Christmas. So, today I woke up at like 11:30.
You know what? For you, that's pretty good, and I will applaud you.
Yeah, I'm bumping it down bit by bit by bit, and I have work this February, so I have to change. But I mean, it's great. That's why I need a consistent 9 to 5, because it's, I think, the only way I keep myself on a good schedule.
Well, there you go, man. Nothing like external stimulus to get you going. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
Thank you. And it's funny that I bring this up. I realize I jumped the gun because now I'm looking a little ahead in the outline. I see that you actually had a statement of me being nocturnal.
I did, yeah. I definitely poked at that, and I'm still saying it.
Okay, all right. It's still on deck.
Now, in my opinion, I believe that they either evolved or were created to become or be nocturnal in order to reduce the amount of contact that they would have with humans after learning that we are not nocturnal.
So this is our fault. It's our fault they're nocturnal, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're like, look, we need these guys are a bunch of assholes. I've seen what they do to deer. Let's avoid them as much as possible. And we basically force them into being being the only nocturnal great apes. Now, Tasker is almost nocturnal, but there are exceptions to everything. Okay. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And I mean, like, it doesn't feel great. Like, obviously, I feel better when I get like a normal night's rest. I mean, dude, it's awesome when I can go to bed at like 12:30 and wake up at like 9 a.m. and be like, yeah, I got my whole day ahead of me.
Yeah, dude, that's the best feeling, man. I've been going to bed at I've been pushing it a little bit. Now instead of getting up at like 7, I get up at 8 and I stay up till midnight.
Wow, look
It's
at
my
you.
new thing. I'm compromising.
The punk rock's finally kicking back in, huh?
That's right, man. Hell yeah, brother. So speaking of exceptions, not all of the reports of Bigfoot are at night, of course, but a hell of a lot of them do take place when the sun is down. So of course you're going to see Bigfoot reports during the day. But like I said, there's exceptions to everything in life.
I see. So so we're catching them mostly at sunset because you're just catching them right before they even had their first cup of coffee.
Yeah, they're like, God, that's why they're grumpy, dude, because they haven't had their fucking Joe yet.
Fucking pissed. You caught them right when they woke. I mean, that's like paparazzi bugging you as soon as you get out of bed.
Yeah, dude, I would be so fucking mad if that was the case.
Same. Holy shit. So, okay, that explains a lot.
Now, for some information that y'all have just been dying to know, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
What are Bigfoot's eating habits like?
Especially for you bodybuilders out there. We did establish that Bigfoots are fucking chiseled.
They look like Greek gods if they had sex with monkeys. All right, that's what they look like.
It's like the Chad meme with the guy in the black and white, and he's just like huge jaw, but just covered in fur. That's basically what a Bigfoot looks like.
Exactly. So if you guys are out there trying to get shredded, trying to put some muscle on, pay attention. So what the hell does a giant, intimidating ape-like humanoid eat? Human babies? Tears of homeless people? What do you think?
I think you just described politicians. So no, I don't think that Bigfoot has any of those.
That's right. Sorry, that was the left. My bad.
Oh God.
You'll be relieved to know that their diets align fairly well with the diets of most North American bears. So that would be omnivorous with a heavy slant toward the vegetation aspect of, being an omnivore.
Oh, it's a pretty mellow.
Pretty mellow. They have, bear diets, and bears have not as intimidating of diets as you would think they would have.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about with like sharks and stuff. Like they don't feast on the flesh of any human whatever near it. Like no, that's just portrayal to make it like look scary in movies. Like they really have a pretty plain, like as if they're not hungry around you, you'll probably be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, some plants and such that they enjoy include roots, leaves, bark, grass, berries, which include raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, basically any berries that grow wild in the forest.
Yum.
Fruits, so apples, grapes, again, anything wild that grows. Mushrooms, I forgot to put on the list, but it is on the list.
Okay. Wild
vegetables, such as onions and corn. And nuts, including D's, walnuts, and acorns.
Fucking hate you. I can't believe you. It's in the outline, too. That physically hurt to read.
Oh, goddamn.
It's literally the word nuts, and it's all listed so nicely, and then I just see in the parentheses right after DEEZ. You fucker.
So, generally pretty healthy. If you guys are bodybuilders out there, I would recommend maybe staying away from the top, from the second and third one, maybe second, third, and fourth. Don't eat leaves.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, bark. Like a fucking basil or something.
Yeah, right. Unless it's a seasoning.
Yeah, bark or grass, unless it's the marijuana.
Yeah, man. But also I feel like bark does not have a whole lot of nutritional value.
And I heard it's hard to digest for humans, so.
Yeah, so they're just a little bit more built for that. But yeah, all this stuff is just some good old-fashioned clean eating.
Damn straight, dude. But like I said earlier, they also eat meat when they feel like it. These meats pretty much just consist of whatever kind of animals around and whatever they are able to catch and kill. So, again, some kind of gamey meats in here, but you could literally eat any of these things. Fish, birds, squirrels, deer, and rabbits.
Okay, so that's more of just a convenience factor of like they can eat meat, but like if the hunt's too much for them, then fuck it, man. Just get some wild fruits and shit.
Exactly. Now, but we have to remember they're fucking massive. Okay, so
Right.
they require a huge amount of food to like live, to just live and not waste away into nothing. So, they're probably foraging all the time.
Yeah, well, it's almost I'm seeing almost like a brief parallel with the I believe it was like the Wendigo, where it's like a constant like agonizing appetite where they have to constantly be pumping food into themselves and stuff like that. Because whereas with the Wendigo, it's for supernatural reasons, but Bigfoot's because they're fucking massive. You got to feed the gains.
Got to feed the gains. Let's put it this way: I'm not the biggest dude on earth, but I'm big enough to where I require a lot of food and I eat a lot of food. I spend most of my day eating.
Right.
And all this food that I'm eating is already readily available for me at a restaurant or the grocery store. And then picture me twice as big and heavy, and then also needing to look for my food. You're going to spend a lot of your time doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's probably then the next question is, oh, they're in isolation. How do they keep themselves busy? Well, when you're fighting off starvation at every waking moment, yeah, I imagine you're pretty occupied.
Exactly, dude. So think about that. You know, that's probably why we shouldn't be bugging them all the time, because we probably just fucking interrupted them almost catching a deer.
Yeah, we just fucked them. Like, great. It's like going to class without eating breakfast, and we just did that to that Bigfoot.
All right, so let's get into some of the more juicy traits of our Bigfoot brethren, their behavior. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, big feet are highly territorial creatures.
That actually makes a whole lot of sense because they need to eat constantly. They don't want to share their fucking great fishing spot they found or the area where they have all the best bark and trees, because that, they're kicking back.
They're like, yo, we finally found the perfect spot that has like, I don't know, wild onions, some raspberries. There's a stream over there that has like salmon in it or like bass or something. Yeah. Or that's a lake. I don't know. I'm not a fucking. I'm not a fish doctor. I don't know. What are they called? Ichthyologist. I'm not whatever. Anyway.
Oh no.
The point is, they found Eden, their version of Eden, and all of a sudden, two fucking redneck assholes in orange vests with hunting rifles walk in, and they're like, "Oh, look at this beautiful spot! Holy shit, is that Bigfoot over there?" And we scare the fish away, and the deer run away, and the berries shrivel up, and then Bigfoot looks at you like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that, or he thinks we're little mini Bigfoot coming to fuck, because Bigfoot are big eaters, and there's like, fuck, I can't have two more of me here because we're gonna run out of food. With me, it's just enough for it to like replenish itself, but like when I gotta share it with two other of me, like we'll run out of food by next week.
Yeah, that small, less hairy version of me is gonna get his ass whooped if he doesn't leave. You know what I mean?
Just fucking point at him. No, he's got his like little Bigfoot bat, pointing the bat at him. That's weirdly intimidating, and somebody has a bat and they point it at you.
Because bats hurt, man. I've been hit by them a couple times. They fucking hurt.
Ooh, I imagine they do.
Now, in many reports and Bigfoot documentaries, people will often say that big feet will throw rocks at them. This is a very common occurrence, and many people interpret this behavior as warning shots, letting the human know, or whoever is encroaching on their space, that they are getting dangerously close to their territory.
Which is pretty nice of them, warning shot. That's pretty respectful.
Yeah, I would do the same thing if I was like a primitive creature and I had the ability to like understand my territory and how to potentially defend it. I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Also, too, perpetually starving. So why run, charge, and attack and kill these things and waste all that energy when you could just throw a rock and then they fuck off?
Yeah, exactly. That was funny. I like it when people used to say "fuck off" like that. I love that. I don't know why. I love that. I don't know.
It's a good phrase. It's just I don't know why. I'm with you. I just there's something about it that just I don't know. It's catchy.
It's catchy. Now, within their territory, the Bigfoot likes to destroy and or change the foliage around their area, so they'll break trees. They'll stack up logs in certain ways. They'll destroy plants, and they do it kind of to like. I don't think they do it for shelter. I think they do it to mark their territory. Like, this is our area. I'm fucking this place up. You know what I mean?
I see. I was gonna say, I know I'm a terrible human when I'm hungry too, and if I was in the woods, I'd probably be breaking shit too.
So if you ever stumble upon an area in the woods with strangely mutilated trees and plants, you might just have a Bigfoot on your hands.
It might be what you're looking for, or if you're most other people, run the hell out of there.
Exactly. Be smart. Run.
Yeah. If you're unprepared, you're just a hiker and you see it just like I think this is just kind of common sense too. If you're hanging out in the woods and you see just like a tree that's just like bisected and just like a bunch of wrecked stuff, you should probably just like not be there.
Just dip out, man.
Yeah, that's a kind of basic survival, in my opinion, as somebody who never leaves his home.
But in these same areas, sometimes reports will say that entire deer carcasses can be found hanging in tree branches well above a height that humans can put them. So that's also not a good sign.
Got it. Yeah. Also, like I said, common sense. Even seeing creepy shit hanging from tree branches, just leave.
Now, it seems that Bigfoot also creates something akin to nests for their young. For example, a series of nests were once found by Bigfoot researchers in Washington state. Primatologists later studied these nests and indeed determined that whatever it was, whether it was a nest or not, it seemed to have been built by primates. Now, as like a primatologist,
no, what does a Bigfoot nest look like? A bird nest, or is it just like how we would make a bed in the woods or something?
Kind of like how we'd make a bed. You got like soft plants like ferns used as bedding.
Okay.
And then sticks and stones around it as like a border, I guess.
Okay.
Usually tucked away in a cave, or it could be underneath like heavy foliage too.
I see. So it's more of like a makeshift bed than like a bird nest, which is what I was thinking of. So okay. Better. I need the image.
Now, as for their social habits, most encounters report that Bigfoot is generally seen by themselves in a kind of a solitary manner. However, there have been reports of groups of Bigfoot being seen together, sometimes with smaller ones accompanying them that are usually assumed to be the adult's offspring. So they are, contrary to popular belief, group animals.
I see. And that also makes sense of why there isn't a whole lot of them, because you probably need to have, like we established before, they're hungry things. So in order to build a family, you need enough surplus food. That's the whole, like, the Bigfoot equivalent to, I don't want to have kids until I land this fucking tech company job.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So, and I feel like, and this is just me speculating, but I think a lot of the times when we get like solitary sightings, I think it's because it's usually a male, and it's probably a male off trying to hunt something to eat.
Oh, so they usually have like a small cluster they hang with.
Yeah, I think that usually yes, but when we see them solitary, it's because they're either hunting or gathering.
I see. Okay. So is there a lot of them that just live by themselves, or do most of them have like kind of a little pack to go back to?
Most of them have a pack. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah. So these nests are usually tucked away in places that are hard to find, so they can leave their kids and, the females behind, and feel confident that they'll be safe. That's why these nests are like in caves and stuff.
I see. So when they see those two Tennessee huntsmen walking in there being like, what in tarnation? They're fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Not only is like, mine going to be hungry, but now my kids are going to fucking starve.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a lot more writing on it. Yeah.
Got it.
Communication and vocalizations are two other prominent traits of Bigfoot that have been reported by witnesses. You'll see this a lot in documentaries, Bigfoot documentaries, where people give their firsthand accounts. Often you'll hear about vocalization.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to vocal communication, Bigfoots are said to use a series of hunts. I can't speak.
You can do it.
I smell the Caribbean jerk all throughout the house. I'm fucking dying right now.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you haven't eaten in a while too, so
yeah.
So you're getting in character. That's great for Bigfoot.
I'm hungry, dude. I'm ready to eat some bird, you know what I mean? With some vegetables. So, Bigfoots are said to use a series of howls, grunts, screams, moans, and whistles as a seemingly primitive version of communicative language. And for my one-man show, I will be portraying each of these sounds for you today.
Okay.
Howls. Oh.
Okay.
Grunts.
Cool.
Screams.
Okay.
Moans.
All right.
And whistles.
If you go in and use an audio program to stitch that together, you can get a rough impression of Nick's attempts at conception.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it goes.
The topper is the whistle. Can't get it up until I nail this part.
I can't get it up until I can perfectly whistle the Andy Griffith Show theme song, all right?
Because when you nail it, it's just the rush of adrenaline. Just like makes you rock hard and ready to go. Beautiful, beautiful work. 10 out of 10.
Thank you. So, recordings of these types of vocalizations were actually taken in the 1970s in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and these recordings are now called the Sierra Sounds.
Oh.
A U.S. Navy cryptologic linguist named Scott Nelson once analyzed these recordings, and he concluded that, quote, "It is definitely a language, it is definitely not human in origin, and it could not have been faked," unquote.
I don't know about that.
Hey, man, he's a cryptologic linguist.
Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna have to get a couple more opinions before I go for that.
Oh, here's another opinion. You're rude.
Well, fine and fair. I feel like I've been very receptive so far.
You have been. I had to get that second opinion joke in there. It's a classic street joke.
It is a classic. I'm surprised you didn't react so violently when I think earlier on the episode I said implying that this thing exists.
I let it slide because I knew we were going to have a discussion about this at the end of each episode. So like I'm kind of holding back until we,
So all that rage, you just swallowed it for a second, huh?
Yeah, dude. I have a tumor growing in my head and everything. I'm ready.
All right, then I'm ready for it.
Now, Bigfoot tends to also use a handful of non-vocal communication methods as well. One of the most common of these is the knocking of wood and tree trunks. I'm sure other cryptozoological fans out there have heard about this. Often if you're in Bigfoot territory or somebody sees a Bigfoot, they'll hear knocking on. I almost had dude, this fucking heartburn is killing me.
Oh God. Yeah, you did not. That sounded like that sentence was a struggle to get through.
That was rough. You'll often hear knocking on tree trunks. There's two explanations for this. One is that it's a way for them to communicate to each other from long distances in some kind of Morse code type thing. Mm-hmm. Or it could also be kind of similar to the rock throwing where it's like a warning.
I see. I'm like, hey, I'm here. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. So either way, though, it could be either one. It could be both. I don't know.
I see.
Now, as far as general temperament, most encounters report the Bigfoot as surprisingly being relatively docile, even timid and skittish in some cases, like deer. Mm-hmm. So something I wanted to bring up too in this situation is there's a micro genre of horror movies out there, which I am in love with, that are Bigfoot slasher movies. Okay. Like Hunting Grounds. It's a great one. Now, if you guys ever watch these horror movies, don't let it change your opinion about what Bigfoot is, or don't let it influence your opinion, because in all these movies, people are getting raped and killed by Bigfoot left and right. That's not usually how things go in the real world. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not a fucking psychopath just running around the woods.
Yeah, just like we talked about with like sharks and stuff. They're not actively seeking humans to take out. In fact, they probably don't even think about us. And when they see us, they're like, what the hell is that?
They're like, it's got no hair. You know,
what the shit? Just she's afraid of us as we are of him.
But as mentioned earlier, they are territorial beings. So if someone invades their area or gets too close to a nest, they will become hostile, which is natural.
Yeah.
Usually, the hostility begins with rock throwing as warning shots, but very few actual attacks that end in injury have ever been reported. I think a couple of them may be from being hit by rocks. I think I watched a documentary once where some lady was hit in the head with a rock. But you're not going to have like a Bigfoot come up and rip your arms off like Chewbacca. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there comes that point of, what's real, what's not. We definitely at least need to separate it from how Bigfoot appears in fiction.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're mysterious creatures, beautiful creatures who deserve a better rap than that, than just being known as like mindlessly violent animals,
Yeah, it's not fair to this magnificent creature.
Why did you say it like that?
Because I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I'm holding it in. Holding it in.
Suck it down. Keep it in the gut.
I almost used so many racial slurs at you right now.
Good job. That's a miraculous restraint.
Just kidding. All right,
man.
Probably because once you hear loud. Now, in my opinion, the reason why there haven't been a lot of cases that end in injury is because once you hear like a loud bellowing howl coming out of somewhere in the woods and then rocks being thrown at you from the trees, a smart person usually just gets the fuck out of there.
Dude, even without the howl, when the rocks start flying, you just run because that's that's just good instinct.
Good instinct. So people who are a little dull up in the brain probably will stick around and see, what was that? What was out in the wood over here? My buddy's throwing rocks at me, buddy.
Fine line between bravery and stupidity, huh?
Yes. Okay, now let's talk about some of Bigfoot's abilities and physical capabilities. So, as we touched on before, they are huge, heavy, and have big, shiny, rippling muscles, right?
Mm.
And they're damn strong. Maybe stronger than gorillas, which is pretty impressive because gorillas are very strong.
Right.
They also like to show off this strength. That is why you will see things like mangled trees and plants in areas that they consider to be their territory. So they like to, it's kind of like us when we were younger, Tasker. They like to show off their strength as a sign of alphaness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like nobody gives a shit about how many pull-ups you can do, but that's not stopping you from when there's, you're at the party, there's like 12 girls there and there's just a metal bar that ain't going down anytime soon. You're like, hey, check this shit out.
Yeah, check this shit out. Oh, this isn't a shirts off party? Well, let me make it one,
Yeah. I got this tag that kind of itches me a little bit on my side. I can't deal with this all night.
I can't take this. I've been drinking. Let me get this shirt off,
Those are fun times.
Good times, man. So they like to just break stuff, just break stuff in their territory. So they're strong. They're breaking trees in half. It's very strong. Now, you have to also have to remember that they're chucking deer carcasses up in trees super high. That takes a lot of strength as well, okay?
Mm-hmm. That's probably, I imagine, a way to kind of also establish, not just like alphaness and strength, but also for any potential mates, like, hey, yo, like you're going to be safe with me because look at what I can do.
Look, me monkey, look, me throw high, me throw big.
And they'll go, ooh.
You have small dick, but you throw big.
They'll start clapping.
Now, this enormous strength has also been demonstrated in property attacks. Now, look at this. When someone builds a cabin or parks a motorhome in Bigfoot territory in the woods, reports have shown that Bigfeet may attack it. They have, because it's a threat to their territory, and especially because they're not sure what that is. Like, they don't know what a motorhome is. They don't know what a cabin is,
Yeah, they don't know if it'll attack it back or something, or if it makes a scary noise. Like, it's one of the hit first, ask questions later kind of mentality.
Exactly, dude. The best kind of mentality to have in any situation.
You heard it here, folks. Some life advice to take home for the holidays.
That's right.
Especially when you're sitting around, having the Christmas goose and stuff, and your uncle says something a little off color, just swing first, ask questions later, right?
That's right, dude. And if you want to be the best Starfleet captain you can be, hit first, ask questions later, man. So fuck diplomacy, fuck all that shit.
Except for with the Caribbean jerk providers. It sounds like you guys are well on your way.
I'm doing it because I'm getting something out of it, man. I'm getting fucking nice spice, dude. He also makes like marinades, which I tried. Ooh. Oh, the man is an artist.
So diplomacy only when benefits.
Absolutely, but that's the human way, my friend.
Oh, that's so sad but true.
Okay, so when it comes to these property attacks, when somebody posts up on their territory, they have been known to lift motorhomes up, not like flip them over and shit, but like they've been known to like get curious about it or maybe warning them, so they'll like lift up the motorhome and push it back down. They've been known to completely thrash wooden cabins, like especially if they I feel like they observe from the trees. So like if somebody leaves their cabin to go hunting or fishing or whatever,
yeah.
There have been reports, and I've seen these in documentaries as well, when people will come back to their cabin and it's completely just fucked up. Like they just ran through the place.
Well, yeah, especially if it's a tree that they, because they eat bark and stuff like that. So that'd be like you walking out, you're starving like you are right now, and you see a small, like, some creature using like a bunch of fresh buffalo wings as a home.
I would be so mad. I would annihilate their whole race if I ever saw like a fucking blatant waste of buffalo wings like that. Oh
yeah, just to house like a hamster or something, going to somebody's house and they're like turtle is like living in one of them.
Oh my god, I would burn that house down.
Yeah, so I see we can kind of get into the mind of the Bigfoot. That's what they're thinking.
They're like, fuck these guys. Yeah, these pretentious assholes.
How could they?
But again, I don't think that these acts are meant with harm in mind as the end goal. It's more of a warning to get the fuck out.
Right. Yeah. They're just living on, like we said, a primitive level. They are just like, this is my territory. Stay out. I'm stronger than you. Here's a little something, so you know what's coming. And yeah, have a good day.
Here's a demonstration, asshole.
Exactly.
Now, big feet are also apparently very gifted swimmers by primate standards. They are able to swim quickly. And in the few reports that I saw with them actually swimming, it's apparently quite impressive. And they do use a frog style of swimming.
Ah, I see. Imagine with the feet. I don't know how much webbing they have, but I mean that I'm sure it acts as like a giant paddle or some kind of like a flipper.
Yeah, they got the big feet. May as well use them,
Yeah, it is a handy resource.
Now, in regards to their intelligence, it seems that Bigfoots are a mixed bag. For instance, they are generally not seen using tools, aside from throwing rocks at people or knocking on wood, like against trees to make sound and stuff. They don't like what I mean by not using tools is they're not building like a fucking metropolitan in the middle of the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they haven't quite even hit like the Bronze Age or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, they haven't reached that level yet. But they're kind of getting there. Like they're starting to use things around them for other than just looking at it. But they're not really using tools yet.
I see. So they're like kind of a proto Stone Age. Like they kind of understand the utility of objects around them, but they haven't, like you said, they haven't formally introduced a tool system.
Right. Like I don't think they've made fire yet, which is a big milestone.
Right. Yeah. More
like I said earlier, big feet seem to have constructed primitive communication methods, which is a pretty good step.
Yeah, it's more. Well, no, I feel like a lot of animals have that.
Yeah, I guess that's right. That's true.
Yeah, but still important.
Still important. It's an important step in being able to be more than a single-celled organism,
Right. Yeah, it's like how cats meow, not because that's how cats communicate, but they're replicating the sound of a human baby, because in cat culture, it's just far fucking easier to just convince a human to adopt you than it is to survive on your own.
That's weird. That's why I don't like cats, man. I don't trust them.
Man, they just want a free meal and a warm spot, and they're as happy as can be.
They also tend to take care of their dead in some way that we aren't quite sure about yet. And that would explain why we haven't found bodies of big feet. So they seem intelligent enough to recognize death and then somehow have the means and the sentience to like deal with it physically.
Yeah, there was I think crows do something like that where well the now the assumption because at first because crows gather whenever one of their own dies. And a lot of people thought it was because it was to mourn their dead, but I think nowadays they think it's to survey what happened because crows are smart as fuck to figure out what killed it, so they know whether to avoid or retaliate to keep their territory. So it's like a little crow detective squad.
Interesting, dude.
Yeah, smart animals, dude, and I feel they're getting smarter like as things go along, and it'll be interesting if as humans, as long as we don't take the earth with us, if we ever get wiped out, who's going to be the thing to take our place?
Robots?
Maybe robots, you know, if we can get to that point, because right now artificial intelligence is to put it, my younger brother works in AI, and my favorite thing is he's just like, dude, we are so far away from a robot apocalypse. Like, despite every huge leap we've made, it's like, dude, there's just, as it stands right now, the likelihood of that happening is pretty dang impossible.
Good. That's good, man. Like, have you seen, okay, I know I've been on a big Star Trek kick lately. I'm sorry, I'm bringing it up again. Have you seen The Next Generation? You know Commander Data?
Yes. Yeah. I've never like seen the show, but I know some of the characters and stuff.
Okay. So Commander Data is an android, super like artificial intelligence. That's what I picture, but they're also like in the 24th century. So we have a ways to go until we have some people to take us over, or at least to take our place.
Oh yeah. Well, I did a semester of programming, and I'll tell you, I mean, from my limited knowledge of basics, Java and C++, dude, I don't know how the fuck that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. That's one thing that I'm not worried about in life is, luckily, I feel like, because even if we do get to that point, we still have intuition. You know what I mean?
Even then, even if we do get to the point of like artificial intelligence, like there's still gonna be bugs and shit. Like they're still finding shit. Like what was it? I guess there was this huge like bug in like a big cloud, like I think it's the Amazon cloud service or something. No, it was Java. In Java programming language, which is like almost everything on the internet and almost every company, there ended up being like this huge bug that millions of shit's gonna be fucked over and need a fix for. So I think artificial intelligence, I don't think when we think artificial intelligence, we think it's going to hit a point where it can just like be autonomous, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But even if they do get autonomous, I think it'll last like a couple months, and then there'll be some shitty bug that's going to, you know, make them just another dumb computer.
It's all just and hero.
Maybe, or just now they just walk into corners and just piss their pants all the time or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, long story short, not something we need to worry about too much. I think, a robot takeover, probably not anytime soon.
Thank God.
Yeah. But yes, so you said though, Bigfoots, they take care of their dead. They might have a mourning process, but we don't know. But all we know is that we don't find the bodies.
Right. So that shows some kind of intelligence. You know, that's going to show you. That's going to show you. You know, they're not just like, oh, Jeff died. Fuck Jeff. You know, they're not going to like just walk away. They like bury him or do something. They do something.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was a general overview of both the physical and non-physical attributes of Bigfoot. Now let's take our next step in the journey of this series and talk about something that has always been of interest to me. The different versions, if you will, of Bigfoot/Bigfoot type creatures in different regions around the world.
So they don't just appear in America.
Exactly. And that's a point that I got to get to at the end of this episode.
Got it.
So in India, particularly in the Northeast, there is a creature there named Mande Barang.
Ah, yes, Indian.
Now, Mande Barang are generally the same as Bigfoot, but it is said that they could reach up to 600 pounds instead of 500, so they might be a bit bigger over there. Eating all that curry, it'll get you big, buddy.
Yeah. What was that? Sorry, I'm just thinking it because whenever you do the accent, was it the Monkele Mbembe?
Mokele Mbembe.
That'll be our like never mind. I was gonna say our like calling cards so you know, fans of the show can, but that's cringy as hell, man. Remember when they tried to do that with Reddit?
I do remember that, and it also would be very racist if we did that too.
It'd be extremely racist and not okay. Bunch of oh man, because what was it? The Reddit one was like the narwhal bacons at midnight, and you were supposed to say that. Yeah, And if you say it, that's how you know that it was a fellow Redditor before Reddit
So
was like,
cringe. I remember that. It hurts. It hurts my soul.
Can you imagine just like walking around in some sweaty dude? Like, imagine you're like maybe you're like a girl and you have like a Legend of Zelda t-shirt, which it just makes me so sad that's like, they caution girls to not wear that because you're gonna get some nerd sweaty guys be like, oh, do you know how the storyline of blah blah, bullshit harassed. They get harassed. So now imagine you're just some girl and you're walking around and some fucking weird hairy sweaty man in like his like late 30s is like, oh, the narwhal bacon's at midnight, and what he means, but you're just like, oh god, like it was a bad idea.
Yeah, and I remember that whole the narwhal bacon's at midnight thing, and at the time, because it was like, I don't know, early 2010s, late 2000s, It was like fine. Looking back on it now, it hurts my fucking soul that I ever uttered something like that.
Yeah, well, and it was the first time we ever had I think they call it the internet leaking out, when as the internet became more popular, obviously people wanted to act like they were online in the real world. And like, at the time we didn't know, it seemed like a cool connection to this online community, but in practice was super cringy, weird, uncomfortable, and like just too much of an inside joke where you really see the separation of ourselves, in the real world and the you that's online. Like, it's a completely different thing, and it does not carry over.
And now look how far we've come. We got furries, we got like fucking 1,200 genders, all thanks to the internet. Too many people with the same idea can talk to each other and form alliances, right? And now I have to sit here and deal with it.
Yeah. Well, all those opinions aside, I just think mass globalization is we were built to have live in small communities and stuff like that. And now with our social brain, which we can really only have only realistically remember and be close to up to 50 people, I think was the number, or like 72 people. Anything beyond that is just kind of noise to us. And now we can talk to literally anybody on the planet. And I think people are just kind of getting a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, or overzealous.
Hard to say, but that's not the point we're talking about today.
Yeah, let's move on before because now I can't stop thinking about furries. Because naturally, like if we're talking about Bigfoot and the internet, the next logical step is those goddamn furries. But I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, that's we could save that for discussion on when we talk about the validity of the myth of Bigfoot.
Okay. So, a little closer to home, there's also a creature like Bigfoot that is said to inhabit northeast Texas and southern Arkansas, named the Fouke,
but it definitely, it's Fouke, Fouke, I'd say, but it definitely looks like folk.
The Fouke monster, the Fouke monster.
Yeah, sounds like an accent. See, that's what you want to be known as in college. That's what you're working towards.
That's right, dude. They're gonna call me the Fouke monster.
My man.
That's right, buddy. Staying in Texas, there is another beast named the Wild Man of Navidad, the river, Navidad River. In Canada, specifically Ontario, there is the being known as Old Yellow Top. That's also what I named my Asian penis.
Whatever helps, man.
So Old Yellow Top is the only blonde Bigfoot-esque creature out there as far as I know. Its blonde coat color is the main differing feature compared to our Bigfoot, but it's like not white, it's like yellow.
Okay, you think that's like well, I was going to say maybe albino, but albino is a lack of pigment, so it probably would be more of a white pale color if it was albino. So, I don't know. Lucky, I guess.
Just lucky, or
it's a real life shiny Pokemon.
There you go. Now go try to catch it. That's it's probably, actually, you know what? Getting a shiny Pokemon probably harder than catching Bigfoot. Never mind.
Yeah, realistically, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon's for a bunch of fucking
Pokemon was a pop culture phenomenon around the time that we were children. It's okay to admit that you know what a shiny Pokemon is.
Of course I do, man. Of course. I'm the dude who read you that. I read you guys that Master fanfic. Remember, I know about Pokemon. I know enough to know that Cream Puff one's asking for it.
That was an episode. I believe it was it was like our proto kickback episodes when we did it was your first solo episode.
Yeah, dude. It was a banger.
Yeah, one could say that.
Now, of course, in the Himalayas, I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on a creature known as the Yeti, who tromps around the mountains. It is a white coat. It has a white coat, which acts as a natural camouflage for it, naturally. But this is the only white Bigfoot-like creature that I know of.
And there's the argument of, is it even Bigfoot or is it something else entirely?
And that's an interesting argument for any of these. Is it Bigfoot? Is it all one thing with different variations? Is it different species that are very similar to each other? That's a tough question to answer. You know,
or there's for ones that might be in like areas that naturally have primates. Maybe it's just like an Andre the Giant situation, just a primate with gigantism who's just like got the biggest balls in the whole fucking ecosystem.
Yeah, and he just fucking tromps those balls around, just throws them on the table. Is like, here I am, like it or not.
Oh man, it could be. I don't know. That's a lot of. We don't have enough information to say for sure.
Yeah, and to be honest, guys, we might just do a full episode on the Yeti one day. I think that's the game plan because there's definitely enough lore to go on off of it, you know what I mean? So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, maybe it'll be next year's Christmas episode. We don't know. We'll see.
Maybe, or if
it's
that's
really,
a good
really
idea.
Cold.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
an abominable snowman episode.
Oh, that would be really good. Because I also too we can. It's nice because there's so much cool Christmas myths. We're stacked for at least a couple years of this. Because one year we got to do the Krampus too.
Oh. Krampus is near and dear to our hearts. Tasha and I love that legend. We saw the movie together, the newest iteration years back.
It was good. Jim from The Office was in it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He dressed as Krampus one year for at the Ugly Sweater Christmas party.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's back when yeah, dude. I had like Satan horns and a giant cloak and
The best part was when you went to the grocery store and all the because the town we were in is very much known for being white conservative, so people were definitely confused.
Yeah, I think the Satan ugly Christmas sweater underneath with like the upside down pentacle and goat's head didn't help either. So
yeah, but you weren't very well, and I think that's why they were conflicted because they were looking there like, oh god, this fucking pentagram, but he's a handsome young lad, so maybe it's okay because it's Southern California, man. People are shallow as fuck.
Yeah, and then boom, they failed the test. I was sent here by Satan to tempt them, and they fucking hard failed. Come on,
hard fail, man. They had one shot, man. What a shame.
Damn. Anyway, so heading back to old Canada, there's another creature there known as Nuuk-Uuk. Nuuk-Uuk.
Nuuk-Uuk. Is that an L or an I?
That's an uppercase I.
Oh, I see. Nuuk-Uuk.
Nuuk-Uuk. This guy is very similar to Bigfoot, but here's the big difference. Their temperaments. So it is said that Nuuk-Uuk is innately highly violent and aggressive. So much so that headless corpses found in the Canadian wilderness are often attributed to the beast and his doings.
Ooh. Yeah, decapitation is not a good sign. See, when you see a mangled corpse, okay, well, probably just a wild animal. See, decapitation, there was intent to kill there. That was I'm going for the head.
Yeah, going for the head, and I'm sure it wasn't a clean cut. It was probably more of a rip.
Ugh, ow.
In Aboriginal legend from Australia, there is a creature called Yowie, another Bigfoot-like creature that I'm sure most of you have heard before if you've ever looked into Bigfoot.
Do you know what yaoi means in Japan?
No.
It's gay porn, but drawn, like gay anime porn.
I'm sure you do that, and I'm glad you do that because, And speaking of which, look at that line. In Japan, Tasker's favorite country.
Oh man, we did not plan that. That's awesome. So there is a Japanese Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And he would know who Yowie is. He probably, if you ever met the Yowie, be like, you fucking, wow, man. Way to go. Way to choose that name.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm glad to have you here as an interpreter for all things perverted in Japan. Thank you. Not that being
Oh,
gay
I'm
is
sure.
perverted, but drawing it is perverted. I am against drawn porn.
Oh yeah, you've made your stance very strong on that, but I'm sure my level of expertise is only scratching the surface. But I digress. Let us go to Japanese Bigfoot.
All right, so Japanese Bigfoot-like creature is known as Hibagon. I don't know. How would you pronounce that in Japanese? I know I is usually E, right?
Why are you asking me? You're the one who's more Japanese than I am.
Because I don't care about my heritage. You care more about my heritage than I do.
that's my white side coming through. Oh God, I don't know.
Hibagon. That's what I was thinking too, right?
Yeah.
So the Hibagon stalks the Hiroshima region, and it seems to be much smaller than the big feet that we are used to in the West, standing at about 5 feet tall, and it has much longer hair too.
Interesting. So, which is weird too, because Japan does not have a lot of like natural, like not wildlife, but like natural like biomes anymore. Like they're pretty like citied up. Like they don't have. Well, let me see. Let's go to Google Maps and let's look up Hiroshima. Because if Hiroshima is like almost all city, I'm gonna call bullshit because there's no way this thing gets away without being like discovered.
Here, I have the exact mountain. I just didn't
Okay.
put it in the outline. The mountain it's in the Hiroshima region. Oh, here it is. It's in the mount. It hangs out in the mountainous areas near Mount Hiba in the Hiroshima region. So look up Mount Hiba.
Damn it. Yeah, okay. You could totally be there.
But it looks very strange with artist depictions and photographs. It has like long hair and it is like smaller. It's like 5 feet.
I see. Okay, and sorry, I'm just still looking at the map. I think when the misconception that Japan is completely built over and they have no like, wild anything forest or that's okay. Tokyo or Nagoya, definitely, yeah, super built over, but there is plenty of natural spaces.
Natural wide open spaces.
Beautiful.
Okay, so that was by no means an exhaustive list because there was a bunch more I could have gone into, but we would have been here all fucking day. So just know that so many regions and cultures around the world have a creature that resembles Bigfoot, okay? But the important thing to note is that people around the world are seeing something, and that something that they're seeing is fairly similar, if not the same, across the board. Okay?
I see. So yeah. So there's enough cross comparison and similarities to where there's some, that holds some weight. Like, this isn't something that just some random crackpot came up with one day. Like there's a couple of them, and that's why we can talk about it and discuss it.
Right. And that's why there's so much interest in Bigfoot, because people around the world are seeing something like Bigfoot. So I think that there's something there. Of course, I think there's something there, but I think what we really need to do now is that's really the end of the informational part of the episode today. Now, what we need to do is have a nice little discussion between Tasker and I. And we can only discuss things that we talked about in the episode. That's a rule for these parters, because I'm sure we might become impassioned and talk about something that we're going to cover in the following episode. So only stuff that we covered on this one.
The strict Bigfoot spoiler policy. So, which I think it's a smart idea, because if we spoil it all here, why the fuck would you listen to the other parts,
Yeah, because you want to hear our opinions about other parts of Bigfoot as well, not just his fucking how big his dick is and how broad his shoulders are,
Exactly. So now I'm sure, Nick, you've been holding it in this whole time, but the big underlying question here is, does Bigfoot exist? And I'm sure we're going to go into that. That's going to be more of a prevailing question, that the answer we're not going to come to right at this moment. And I'm sure as we get more information on the subject, we can have more of a developed opinion. So no, Nick and I are not going to have an answer for that right off the get-go. So let's talk about instead the how close are we to me believing in this shit?
After what I told you, and I presented the information as it is, as an animal, something that makes sense in an animal's behavior, especially like a mammal primate. What how close are you to believing in this?
Closer than you think. I think I'm at the halfway point. I am at I'm not fully convinced, but I can see there being zoological exceptions that would make a creature similar to a Bigfoot exist. And it is not completely implausible that we have a giant primate type creature. And the only thing about it, I think, is just the whole we have people actively trying to find something like this and have had no success. And it sounds to me, if it actually was real, we would have an easier time finding it with the technology we have available.
That's an apt point, but I must say first that I am happy that you're closer than I am first imagined, because I thought you were just going to come out the gate and say, you know, what everybody I'm sure was thinking you would say. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember that the people who are taking this seriously and trying to find Bigfoot is Billy Bob Joe and his buddy Redneck Timmy and their redneck sonar equipment. You know what I mean? They're not being backed by the government. They don't have like they don't have funds going into like a scientific endeavor, because nobody's taking it seriously in the quote unquote scientific community. They think these people are just a bunch of assholes, you know?
Yeah. Well, it also, and that's a good point though. It's like a lot of the context I think about Bigfoot is that it's just a bunch of like, you know, moonshine drinking, paint thinner, huffing rednecks, just, you know, they get like, you know, they're just tripping nutsack, and then they think they see a giant like ape creature, which you probably see weirder shit just by cleaning with Kaboom for too long. Rest in peace, Billy Mays, by the way. But so, and I think that's only one context though, and I do think bringing up the fact that there's Bigfoot type creatures all over the planet, I think is an interesting point, because if we can take the redneck element out of the equation, these things seem a little bit more plausible.
And here's why there's a correlation. And now people often think that the reason, you know, these kind of backwoods people believe in Bigfoot or say they've seen Bigfoot is because they're a bunch of crazy, uneducated, illiterate rednecks, inbred fucks, right?
Yeah.
But the reason
just sounded like so like passionate,
some like latent hostility.
Yeah, something you've been waiting to get out and just finally found the avenue to do it. Yeah.
But you have to remember the reason they're actually correlated is because who is living in the fucking woods and seeing these things? Rednecks. That's why. It's because they're in the right place at the right time. And just because that we have a negative a negative notion about them as a very inappropriate generalization, you know, in my opinion, is ridiculous that we would think that way, because we have to remember they're the ones seeing them because they live in the woods. They live in the Appalachians. They live in, you know, the woods in Washington and Oregon. So
yeah, but like most things, a witness testimony must be taken with a grain of salt, no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for anything. And that's what makes this a little bit tricky. Now, do I think I'm ever going to see a Bigfoot in my lifetime? No, I don't think. And that's, I think, where a lot of the skepticism for this subject comes from is, and I can't bring it up. There's other things I want to talk about, but I can't. But in terms of for what we talked about in this episode, I just think if any of you listeners out there have like any stories of a time there was a major scientific endeavor to find and discover Bigfoot.
Wow. I remember when I first had my balls drop.
I'm quitting the show, dude. 100 episodes. We said it earlier. That's all we needed, and we did it. That's my sign off. But Bigfoot, yeah, oh God, man, I just feel like my testosterone levels just like plummeted.
Yeah, damn, bro.
It's finally, I had a momentum there and it was gone. But if there was a scientific, you know, attempt, I would like to hear about that and what they discovered, because I also understand too, as much as we want to believe that technology can find and, you know, locate anything, It's not always the case because I mean, how many people go missing in the fucking forest every year and all that stuff? Like, if we really had that tech, we'd be able to find everybody who went missing at any moment. So, unfortunately, there's a little bit of validity to that.
And that's something that I was planning on putting in one of the episodes, maybe the last one, maybe part 3. I'm going to put some stuff in there where there was actual expeditions to find evidence of Bigfoot. I will put it in there, see what we can find, because I know hair fibers have been found that have been come back inconclusive, but I will find those and bring them out so we can talk about it, because I think that would be interesting as well. I'm not a man of science, you know what I mean? Right. But if you are, I'm happy to. I will give a little leeway and bring some science into the episodes.
Sounds great. And I think this is just one of those arguments where we can't really go. We don't really have a lot to go off of right now. So all I would say is for sure is there's some plausibility here. I'm not 100% convinced, but like we're gonna need some more information, and I think we'll see with these next 1 or 2 episodes. How we can further this along and and have more of a definite opinion instead of being the whole wishy-washy in the middle.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you're at this point already. It's good to see you on the fence rather than on the opposite side of the fence already. So that's nice. And you know what, guys? That was it for part 1 of Bigfoot.
Yep. It's like we said before in the beginning of the episode, this episode's been one of the early ideas we had for the show. And I remember distinctly us saying in a meeting, like, drunk, which before, because we recorded, actually, funny enough, our first episode we recorded it was like a Monday before Christmas, I think.
Yes, we recorded on Christmas Eve, put the episode out on Christmas.
That's right. Holy shit. Yeah, so this is very much, this is just a crazy, a lot of shit just happened at once with this episode. It's our 100th episode. We just broke 20,000 listens as a total for our show. It's the 2-year anniversary. We get to do Bigfoot on the same relative week that we started just doing the show in general, just in time for Christmas. This is a very special episode.
Yeah, so it's been fun, guys. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm stepping down, and I think I'm gonna. Tasker's holding auditions to take my place, so feel free to submit videos.
Well, I was going to hold auditions because of that voice crack. I think I'm gonna quit too. So we actually need to audition for both of our parts. So and, now neither of us want to do it. So who does it fall to? Robots. I see. I can use my 1 semester of tech to develop a script to hopefully figure this problem out for us. Or if your alternate personality takes over, maybe they'll take the reins, because that's technically our producer, right?
Yes. The producer and I have been going through some stuff these last few months. Just because I have dissociative identity disorder doesn't mean you can call me out anytime. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Very true. Got to be more sensitive.
No, but for real, guys, we're not quitting. We do appreciate all the things that you guys have done for us these last 2 years. I don't like to get too mushy. I was gonna have rely on Tasker to be that guy, but I did want to put my 2 cents in. And just say, you guys have given us all those listens. You've given us, some of you have donated your own money, which is much appreciated, hard-earned money. I don't care if you work at a retail or if you give blowbos behind 7-Eleven, it was hard-earned.
Or came out of your mom's purse when she wasn't working.
Yeah. All I need is the 15 digits on the front of her card and then the security on the back. You guys gave it to us all, gave all of it to us, I should say. And we can't thank you more, than just saying thank you. You guys have been fucking awesome.
Absolutely. Nick and I, we've wanted to do a show for such a long time, and to actually have an audience and to actually have people who do regularly tune into us is just insane. I kind of made a joke about it earlier, but when I'm stumbling, half pissing myself out of bed, from the drinking I did the night before to scramble together a blanket and a cup of coffee to be able to record, I feel like a really just regular, slimy dude. But it's just something about getting behind that mic and just knowing that there's people out there that want to hear what we have to say is just, it's just incredible. And we're so happy to do it. It's always a fucking treat to hear what you guys have to say, to get the feedback, and it's just a jolly good time. And 20K, like that's a huge, I think we did the math, that's a 300% listen increase from last year. So we are seeing some steady growth. We're still kind of at like a good humble root, and I think that's totally fine. Like, you know, things grow the way they want to grow. Things we've always been just wanted to be organic with the show, and I feel like it's just like, you know, it's done exactly that. And we put our faith in the show, and we're just glad that you could put your faith in us to create something fun to listen to every week. And like we said, this is kind of a mushy 2-year anniversary thing. We're not always like this. If you're just tuning in, you're like these fucking sentimental fucks, like
these
every single
pansies.
But no, this is just, you know, like we said, this is a very, very important episode, very big milestone for both Nick and I. And like we said, we're always happy to do the show, and this show is already our Christmas present from you guys.
That was terrible. That was not even in the script. That was woo. No, that was cute.
Yeah,
that was cute. That was cute.
Yeah. See, I told you the testosterone levels dropped after the
I guess, so. Man, that was adorable.
That turned a fucking Hallmark card.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, but we love you guys. All right, just know that we, each and every one of you, thank you for listening. Okay, and
absolutely,
more episodes to come. Hope you guys have a fantastic this is technically our Christmas show, so have a good Christmas, have a happy Hanukkah. I think that's happening right now, so continue to have a good Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, if you don't celebrate at all, have some drinks, whatever, man, have a groovy time.
Yeah, eat good food, hang out with people, like, you know, do what you got to do. Or if you don't have anyone to hang out, pop onto VR chat, find some folks there, or whatever you got to do. Yeah, make sure to, you know, find some time to enjoy yourself, put a little extra money into yourself. You deserve it. If you've been between buying something, yeah, you know, just get it. You should just get it, unless it's like you know, a fursuit or something like that, in which case, you know, save your money. Yeah, that's better spent on something with a little bit more not intrinsic value, but, you know, something a little bit more usable, maybe.
Yeah, something that's not going to get you fucking beat up.
Yeah, something that'll actually like put you down a peg on the social ladder.
Yeah, dude, your hierarchy is just fucking out of whack if you think that you're gonna get a fursuit and just climb to the top, man, because you will get repeatedly beat back down to the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's the bad thing we talked about. They're always going to get pointed in your direction, and we don't want that for you.
I'm doing this for you. It's called tough love. All right. So if you're like a on the fence furry, I'm gonna push you onto the non-furry side because I'm doing it for your own good.
Yep, that is the service we are bringing to you. And obviously, you know, Nick and I talk about quitting the show after 100. See, we can't though, even if we wanted to, because we're just getting so close with the Count Chocula episode. It would just be a really big waste to just not release it. So, episode's still in the works. I know Christmas is kind of a weird time for Count Chocula. He's not necessarily on the move. I want to say it has something to do with like a natural predator relationship with Santa. Might be something along those lines. We're working on that just as much as we're discovering, you know, the connections.
Yeah, my calculations indicate that he just kind of goes back to visit his grandmother every year.
That probably, you know, as evil as he may be, you know, most things have some level of sentimentality if we're talking in a true neutral world that we live in. So, you know, it's something to think about. But till then, thank you all again from the bottom of our hearts from here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holidays I missed. Feel free to angrily let me know. But if you are listening on iTunes, if you could 5-star rate and review, that would be super, super helpful, especially if this episode made you feel nice and warm and gooey inside, or the complete opposite. You know, hey, you know, at least we're feeling anything at all.
Yeah.
Spotify, you can click that follow button. We have new episodes every single Wednesday. Our Instagram is at CEOTPK. YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Our Twitter is at CEOTPK1. Our TikTok is at CEOTPK. For all these links and the upcoming links, go to our Facebook. They'll all be there. Don't type it in. Save yourself a couple keystrokes. Go to facebook.com/CEOTPK or just Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Just type that into that search bar. It should all be there. You can email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. Any stories, corrections, opinions, or just, you know, you just want to say hi, feel free. Discord is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. Some of you sleuths out there may have found our Discord link is in fact in the description of our Spotify. So, yeah, it's another way to, you know, save yourself some time. Don't have to type those in. Our coffee is ko-fi.com/CEOTPK. If you feel the need to donate, it's there. It's like our own personal tip jar. If you want to have like a message or a shout out sent on the show, feel free. But like I said, not a requirement. It's just there if you want to.
Yeah, guys. So thanks for everything. Thanks for the donations. Hope you guys have a great holiday. And whether you think it's Bigfoot, Bigfoots, or Big Feet, the truth is out there.
Yeah, or if it's just long toesy boys, you know, like the TikTokers might think, you know, it's not.
I think that gamer girls, right, quote unquote, need to stop like repping that kind of stuff because they're just kind of cringe in my opinion.
So they're just not allowed to wear the brands that they like?
Yeah.
Okay, we got that.